Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something that touches pretty much all of us. You know, brain rot sounds kind of funny, right? Like some silly Gen Z buzzword we're all just exaggerating about for a laugh. But honestly, as we'll see from the source material today, short-form content is doing real physiological damage to you. And once you hear this, you will literally never doom scroll again.
Because deep down you already know it's not doing you any favors. It's exactly the same way smoking or eating junk food isn't good for you. But here's the insidious part. Those habits leave marks you can actually see. You get winded, you gain weight, you feel wrecked. Short-form content doesn't do that. It just quietly eats away at your brain without you even noticing.
Let's get into Section 1, the invisible damage.
Let's break down exactly how this invisible damage operates. Notice the stark contrast here between physical and mental decline. When you have a bad physical habit, like, say, eating terribly, the feedback loop is obvious. You get tangible warning signs. But the scrolling habit? It doesn't give you those alarms. It just quietly, silently eats away at your cognitive abilities, totally unseen.
Which brings us to Section 2, the memory test. Let's do a quick real-time intervention right now to prove exactly what's happening to your attention span. Try this. Name 5 reels or TikToks you watched yesterday. Just 5. Take a second. I bet you can. And it's not because you have a bad memory in general. It's because your brain never even got the chance to actually hold on to those rapid-fire clips.
Now, compare that blank stare to trying to name 3 movies or podcasts from the past month. Easy, right? You remember the plot, the host, the way it made you feel. These short clips are just so fast. Scrolling like that isn't really living. Honestly, it's more like zoning out completely while your thumb just does all the mechanical work.
And that leads us to Section 3, use it or lose it. This memory failure brings up a fundamental biological rule about how your brain functions. Look at how aging works. There's this fascinating research on aging nuns that found the ones who stayed mentally active aged noticeably slower than the ones who just sat watching TV all day. The biology here is super simple. Whatever you do often gets stronger in your brain, and whatever you ignore inevitably gets weaker. Use it or lose it.
Think about it. If you feed yourself nothing but short, rapid-fire clips, that shallow processing becomes the only thing your brain is actually good at. An active mind allows your focus, memory, and emotional depth to thrive. But by choosing a passive, scrolling mind, your true focus, your long-term memory, and even your emotional depth quietly fade away, simply because you aren't demanding them of your brain anymore.
It's a bit like someone who stops using their legs, right? If you stay in bed and never walk, the muscle doesn't just hang around waiting for you. Eventually, the muscle just disappears from lack of use. Your brain works the exact same way. Your cognitive abilities literally atrophy when you stop actively engaging your mind.
Moving on to Section 4, the time cost.
Now that we understand the very real biology of use it or lose it, think about the numbers for a second. 3 to 4 hours. That is the amount of time most young people are spending on this stuff every single day. Just let that sink in. When you map those 3 to 4 hours onto a standard 16-hour waking day, a full 25%, a quarter of your conscious day, is just gone, erased. And when you extrapolate that 25% across an entire human lifespan, that adds up to literal decades of your life completely erased. Decades spent just zoning out. Now throw artificial intelligence into the mix too. A lot of people are letting chatbots do their thinking and reasoning for them. Well, the exact same rule applies here. Stop using your mind to solve problems, and it fades. You see a loss of basic reasoning abilities and even an inability to just sit quietly with your own emotions because you're so used to instantly outsourcing your brain power to an app.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, reclaiming your attention.
So, knowing all this invisible damage, how do people who are genuinely thriving handle this digital landscape? Well, every person I know who's genuinely thriving avoids this stuff completely. They don't dabble in doom scrolling. They protect their attention like it is the absolute most valuable thing they own, because it is. Your attention dictates your reality. Every time you open one of these apps, you are making a transaction. You're trading away your brain's most valuable asset, your cognitive health and literal years of your life, for a few fleeting seconds of absolutely nothing. If this habit is quietly eating away at your mind unseen, maybe it's time to stop.